It's often said that in times of great deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, and that's very much true today. And I want to bring your attention to the fact that anyone who is celebrated in the mainstream media or pop culture is an evil, destructive person, almost without exception. And at the same time, those individuals who are attempting to bring you awareness, awakening, truth, expanded knowledge, transparency, disclosure, all of these things, those individuals are systematically vilified.
And we will make America great again. God bless you and good night.
This is a deliberate campaign. It's all done on purpose. And the point of it is to, well, number one, dissuade people from speaking out. What they want to do in terms of they who run society is they want to mock and ridicule and defame individuals who tell the truth, so that those watching will say, gosh, I don't want to be treated that way. They'll say, oh, I want to belong in the group. I want to be part of the club. I want to be socially accepted by my friends. So, gosh, I better not engage in any of that truth-telling, about vaccines or politics or transgenderism or GMOs or gun rights or anything, you name it, UFOs for that matter. Any subject that is based on curiosity and looking into possibilities that may be quite rational, in fact, and have a very strong basis for further scientific investigation and discovery. But anyone who even dares to go into those areas is immediately ridiculed. They are slandered and they are defamed. And Wikipedia is part of that defamation. The mainstream media is part of that defamation. Social media is as well. Now, as human beings, we all live in a world where there's a long history of this going on. I mean, look at what the Catholic Church did to the first guy who said the earth is not the center of the universe. The heliocentric model of the universe was revolutionary, to say that, well, actually the sun is the center of at least our solar system and our planet orbits the sun. This was considered blasphemy in its day. And yet there were very brave individuals like Galileo, like Copernicus and so on, who were willing to state what they were convinced was truth, even at great political costs and sometimes very, very high personal costs to their own lives, their safety, and their reputations. People who really have a grasp on truth and who are dedicated to moving humanity forward, achieving real progress in knowledge, in medicine, in science, are people who must be willing to, in essence, sacrifice their personal reputations among the status quo, because they will be vilified, they will be attacked, they will be made to look like charlatans or quacks or what have you. And all of us who have told the truth about how vaccines damage children, for example, or how mercury is a toxic element when injected into children, we've all been vilified to various degrees, like Dr. Andrew Wakefield, for example, who is a brilliant physician and a very highly ethical and honest researcher, and just a wonderful human being as well. He has been just outrageously vilified and stripped of his medical license and so on. And it's really the degree of vilification that maps up to the degree of truth that person is sharing with the world. And so you can actually start to gauge how important someone is to human knowledge by looking at how aggressively they are vilified. If someone is contributing really nothing to humankind and the expansion of knowledge and the raising of awareness and consciousness, they are completely ignored by the status quo. If they are destroying human knowledge and destroying the culture and destroying ethics and morality, then they will be celebrated by the status quo. Look at Lady Gaga, look at Beyonce, look at all these various artists and actors who are extremely destructive and really they contribute nothing to humankind, the Kardashians, but they are celebrated because they contribute nothing, or they perhaps contribute to the downfall of human culture and human knowledge. But if you are someone who deliberately wants to help awaken humanity or move human progress forward, or expand knowledge, awareness, even if it's rooted in good science, if you want to expand the scientific understanding or ask new questions of science to help move science forward, you will be vilified, you will be attacked, you will be defamed, you will be destroyed, you will be defunded. And these are the tactics. You'll be censored, you'll be destroyed, and you'll never be invited onto television, on a news program or a documentary or what have you, because the system cannot allow you and your voice to succeed in reaching others. You see, if you really get down to it, the status quo, the globalists that run our planet today are enemies of knowledge, and they want to destroy human knowledge, and they want to prevent human knowledge from expanding. They want to control all knowledge and all, quote, facts by controlling the science and controlling medicine, controlling money and currencies, controlling politics and government, controlling the social narratives, controlling the culture, the Hollywood movies, music, TV shows, you name it. Why do they want to do that? It's because they have to keep people locked into a system of control and manipulation in order to maintain their power over everyone else. And the more people wake up and become more aware and more awake and more self-actualized, the bigger threat those individuals are to the power monopoly of the globalists. In essence, globalists have declared war on knowledge. Human knowledge is the enemy of control systems that try to control humans. So anyone who is attempting to promote knowledge and to expand knowledge is the enemy of the globalists. Now, if you're someone who is pushing false narratives or false knowledge or disinformation, then you will be protected, you'll be celebrated, you'll be funded, you'll be offered a Nobel Prize. If you destroy human understanding, you will be rewarded, you will be celebrated. Now look at TED Talks. How many brilliant people has TED banned after they gave a brilliant talk, like Graham Hancock, for example, a brilliant historian that tells the truth about elements of history that are unacknowledged and unrecognized by the status quo. Look at ancient civilizations, or even topics like ancient astronauts and possible influence of other civilizations on early human technology. These topics are ridiculed, even though the exploration of these topics should be a very important human endeavor. Look at medicine. Look at how herbalists and natural medicine is completely ridiculed by the status quo, which claims that only a toxic chemical can treat any disease or cure any disease, even though it cures nothing. And they attack plants and herbs, and they say there's no such thing as an anti-cancer food. It's absurd. There are anti-cancer elements in almost every kind of fresh produce, fruits and vegetables and roots, from ginger, garlic, turmeric, celery, oranges, lemons, limes, you name it. They all have anti-cancer elements. Grapes, for example, they're everywhere. But I've seen journalists even attack me and say that I'm a quack because I claim that there are anti-cancer medicines in food. Gosh, I thought everybody knew that. So, it just shows you how far more advanced we are, those of us who understand natural medicine, than the dinosaur status quo that still thinks that there are no such things as nutrients that can prevent disease. And it's because they're locked into the knowledge extinction system. They despise new understanding. They despise advances in nutritional medicine. They despise, really, all of science. What they want is a sort of a priesthood of scientism, cultism, if you will, where it's a dogma that you can't challenge. This is the vaccine industry is a great example of this. You can't challenge the dogma of the vaccine industry. You can't say that vaccines harm children, even though they do. Even though there's a secret vaccine court that was created by an act of Congress that routinely pays out large awards to children who were provably damaged by vaccines. And they only pay out the awards when it's proven beyond any reasonable doubt. And they pay out awards all the time, billions of dollars in awards. And then someone says vaccines damage some children. They're called a quack and a kook. Well, gosh, the court system already validated that statement. It's obvious. Actually, any medical intervention has some level of risk associated with it, and yet we're told absurdly, unscientifically, that vaccines have no risk. My point in all of this is that you should very carefully observe the people in society. You should observe who's being made famous by the media. Those are evil, destructive people. Who is being attacked by the mainstream media? Those are good people, usually, who are trying to help humanity and move humanity forward and contribute to human knowledge. Who's being given awards by the Nobel Prize Committee? Usually, people who follow a political agenda, not the people who have the best ideas or who could contribute the most to human understanding. What about all these awards given out by the White House during the Obama administration? You know, the Medal of Freedom and so on. Who were they given out to? Campaign donors, people who helped raise money and push, famous, I think, Martin Sheen, I think, was given one of those awards, if I recall correctly. Why? Because he campaigned for Obama. Is that human freedom? No, I don't think so. That's political propaganda. It should be called the Political Propaganda Award, Presidential Award. So you see, watch out for who is being celebrated, who's being given these official awards, who's being quoted as an expert by the Washington Post. Those are usually the most destructive, most evil, most malicious people. Who is being attacked by the mainstream media are typically the people that you want to listen to. Everybody from Ron Paul, for example, to Paul Craig Roberts, another great example of someone vilified by the media, but has something actually important to say. I mean, even Alex Jones, for that matter. I don't agree with him on everything, but my God, he's got some very important things to contribute to our dialogue and discussion. But he's vilified, even when he's right. He's usually right. He's 5 years ahead, usually, on a lot of these topics. And he's vilified for being right. And there are, many, many examples of journalists, Glenn Greenwald and Paul Joseph Watson. It's just too many to mention, but so many journalists were vilified when they're truth tellers. Cheryl Atkinson, for example, another one. If you're a journalist and you report the truth, you will be fired. You will be vilified. You will be smeared. You'll be censored. If you just go back into religious history, Jesus Christ. Look at the reports of how Jesus was treated. Why? Because he was, according to the stories in the Bible, trying to bring love and understanding and compassion and healing. He brought miracles to the world, according to the stories, right? What did they do? Nailed him to a cross, murdered him. Why? The bottom line is that our world is, I believe, a testing ground. And it's a seductive testing ground. And it's really, we're surrounded by evil actors all over the place. There's a lot more evil in this realm than there is good. And our job as divine, spiritual, aware, self-determined human beings is to stay on our path and do what we know is good and right and contribute to human knowledge and contribute to awakening regardless of the attacks against us, because those attacks only come from people who are truly evil, people who are malicious, people who are, metaphorically working for the devil, you might say, or working for the satanic side of that spectrum of good versus evil. So the fact that they attack us really only confirms that we're on the right path. And that's something to really keep in mind and remember for all of us who are truth tellers and who are on a journey to explore and discover and share and uplift other members of the human race. We live in an era, in a world where we are surrounded by powerful evil, widespread evil. The entire system is run by evil. And it's all a test to see if you can make it through this life and stay true to your divine beliefs and your self-actualization and your intention to contribute to love and healing and truth and honesty and abundance and protection of life. Is one of my key missions, for example. If you can stay on that path and contribute in all of these ways, it doesn't matter what they say about you, does it? Because at the end of the day, at the end of your life, what do you take with you? The record of what you did, of your actions, not what people said along the way. You take with you the karma, the timeless record of truth that that you stood your ground and you worked to help people and you told the truth, even when it was unpopular to do so. That's revolutionary, and it's rare. We are the spiritual warriors of our time, and we're not for sale, and we do not compromise, and we can't be bought off, and we can't be silenced. And that is exactly why there are such efforts to destroy us, because we are, love and knowledge is a threat to evil. It's no more complicated than that. Love and knowledge, awareness, expanding knowledge, awakening, it's a threat. It's a threat to the manipulators, the exploiters, and the malicious agents of destruction that currently dominate our system. They don't want us to succeed, but we will nonetheless, because we've got truth on our side. If you'd like to help support this video and other videos like this, visit healthrangerstore.com, where everything we sell is laboratory tested for heavy metals and more. You'll find superfoods, storable survival foods, nutritional supplements, and a full line of synthetic chemical-free body soaps, shampoos, and oral care products. Everything we sell is non-GMO, and it's all completely free of chemical sweeteners, artificial colors, hydrogenated oils, and other toxic ingredients that you want to avoid. Find all this and much more at healthrangerstore.com.